Okay, y'all. So Wednesday, I ain't sure my on my podcast. I got it though. I need to post, but it's been crazy lately. Um, I'm just out here trying to make sure I cross my T's and dot my I's. What I got to say to the people on this good Thursday? Think about it, Thursday. Should be what today is. I am going to hit the ground running in a minute. To reset, sometimes it's necessary. Um, Everybody does what works for them when it's to kind of decompress, reset, whatever you want to call it. What works for me is the gym right now. At this hour, the gym is noisy. It's too many people in there. I ain't really trying to see that many people. Um, and I just want to be, to myself, if that makes sense. I am about to go grab some food real quick. So I have it. So after I go either walk or jog, I got something to feed myself with. Um, Pay attention. That's something I want to just drop for whoever need to hear it. Pay attention. They says warning before destruction. That's the thing, right? Um, what else? Like, I think people and things should come with warning labels, right? Including myself. Um, but I give mine. Some people don't. And I think it's important that we make sure that we pay attention to what people are saying. Not that you're just their actions. So if the actions don't match with what is being said, null and voided, right? And we have to always remember, adults, even kids, we do what we want to do, right? I could tell you anything, but if my words don't match my actions, is it a thing? And we only live once. So you gotta do what works for you or resonates with you. You owe nobody nothing. I was told by somebody yesterday that I respect. Um, if you have point A and B, where is the deepest you can go from A to B? And I was like, what? And I was like, the B, no, but that's not depth, that's length, right? That's width. And it was an older guy, and he was like, no, how deep can you go? And he was like, you're thinking too hard, think about it. And I was like, nah, is this a trick question? He's like, a little bit. And he was like, how deep can you go from point A to point B? And A and B wasn't what was used, but more so the distance, right, from here to here. Like, from here to here, how deep can you go? So depth is within. And so he was like, yeah, you gotta, to center, you gotta go within. You gotta make sure you good before you can make sure anybody else is good. And that's not something I just learned or just heard, but I personally haven't been tapping into that. And it's a real thing. Like, when everything else is chaotic or everything else is going on in the world is busy, life is busy, I'm busy. You probably should be busy if you're not busy. But if you don't take care of self-preservation, you can't do nothing for nobody else. Some of the importantest people in my life are my shorties. I gave birth to them, right? God saw fit to task me with bringing up 4 individuals in this world. And my belief is I want to make them assets, not liabilities in this world. So I do whatever I can, as much as I can in my capacity, raising them right, teaching them the way, putting them on to the things I may have learned along the way or were taught, but things to make their lives better, but to make sure they're an asset. They're assets in this world, not liabilities. Making sure any table they go to, any place they enter, that they bring something that is unmatched, right? And so think about it, Thursday. I've been thinking a lot. I always think that a lot of people have been talking to me lately, and I don't like to talk a lot, believe it or not. But some of the things that have been said by young and old people, men and women, right? Ironically, men and women, that you gotta center yourself. Make sure you good before you try to make sure them shorties good, that man good, your friends good, family good. Make sure you're good. And sometimes I move so much, I be sticking and moving, I ain't really checking on me. So I'm being cognizant of that, making sure I'm checking in on myself before I check in on anybody else. And with doing that, you may offend, right? A real thing. Checking in on myself and handling me and recentering myself may offend people closest or furthest from me. And I said it, I can't bother to care, because when I did, I was neglecting self in some capacity. So make sure you check on yourself, you center yourself, you make sure you're good before you making sure everybody else is good. And also, somebody was telling me yesterday, like, they're that person, like they know they it. And I was like, people be saying this, and I was like, I would never say that. And it was like, no, like, I know you know that, like, you're that girl. And I was just like, okay, maybe, right? Like, I'm confident in who I am. I don't feel like I need to, you know what I'm saying? And they was like, yeah, you don't pop your shit, but you could. And so I was like, yeah, I don't do that. Like, who does that? And then not even an hour later, somebody was talking to me, and they just always talking trash. They get a rile out of me. Just, they think it's shits and giggles, whatever, excuse my words. But as I was speaking, it was to an older gentleman again while I was at work. I was just like, you be acting like I get on your nerve, whatever, but at the end of the day, you ain't gonna never forget me. So if you never see me again, you ain't gonna never forget me, because the vibe is unmatched. So the person that said to me wasn't far. See, I told you. You don't pop your shit, but you can, but you just did. I was like, but I didn't. He's like, no, you did. You just did. So you be wanting to be humble, but you understand that you could not see somebody for years, and you see them again, but because you're genuine, you're unique, and you just, you know what I'm saying? You that person, right? Rather girl or man, whatever it is, and you just are authentic, you're genuine, you're unique. You ain't got to be better than the girl or the guy next door, but you are an individual that, you just, it's something about you. Let me sit up. It's something about you that draws people. Sometimes I ain't gonna always be the good people, right? It's sometimes people gonna bamboozle you to get in your space because you unmatched. And it was like, hey, I bet you I'm gonna get in that person's presence and I'm gonna try to sit in it. But also understand that people with good energy, big energy, great aura, whatever you want to call it, all of that stuff, especially if you got discernment, because I would say I'm that girl, right? I may ignore some stuff until I don't feel like it, but you got to be able to keep up. And if you can't keep up, things expire. All right. So if you get the privilege, and I think any connection is a privilege because it's not granted. If you get the privilege to be in somebody's presence or in their lives, and they're unique or they bring value to your life, you cherish it, because in an instant. And I ain't talking about because of death or anything. Just in an instant, anybody can take themselves away from you. I could take myself away from you. I can stop. You be like, dang, what happened to that girl that be on social media? She seemed cool, right? And you may be checking for me or you may not. But I am going to affect somebody's life in a positive way as well as in a negative way. So be mindful. Check for yourself. Make sure you're good. Because if you ain't good, who going to check for you? Who going to cover for you? That's always my thing. Can't nobody cover for me but me. And so think about it. Thursday, be thankful Thursday. I'll tap in later. Just wanted to share my thoughts. Hope you miss me. Miss y'all. Stay with it. Tap in, y'all.